So, Monday Night Football, the Vikings versus the Rams. This game is in the wraps. So we had a nice little wildcard showdown, the Rams versus the Vikings. Here's the analysis and my missed prediction. So, in a game that had more sacks in a grocery store on the Sun tonight, the Los Angeles Rams dominated the Minnesota Vikings with a 27-9 victory in an NFC wildcard round. Let's break down these key moments and statistics from this matchup and where my predictions went completely off the rails. I predicted the Vikings in a nail biter. So going into this game, I predicted a high scoring thriller with the Minnesota Vikings eking out a 29-28 win. And I envisioned the Vikings quarterback Sam Darnold stepping up under pressure and their offense finding a way to exploit the Rams defense, and this game coming down to a last second possibly field goal. But it turns out I couldn't have been more wrong. So instead of a nail-biter, the Rams delivered a defensive masterclass that left the Vikings gasping for air. So let's dive into what actually happened. So the Rams' dominant defense, their sack attack. The Rams' defense was nothing short of spectacular tonight. So they tied an NFL playoff record with 9 sacks. Defensive lineman Kobe Turner, he led the charge with 2 sacks. With rookie Jared Verse, he turned heads with a pivotal 57-yard fumble return for a touchdown. And Sam Darnold never had a chance to get comfortable in the pocket. So all night he was just struggling, and the Vikings offensive line just was being dominated by the Rams all night. The Rams, they actually drafted very, very well. They're rookies. They're young players. They're defensive backs. The Rams, they are playing playoff football. They are a very dangerous team. And right now, they have made me so wrong about my predictions for the Vikings. The Vikings won 14 games, and really, to be honest with you, it really doesn't even matter because they didn't even win a playoff game. Sam Darnold, I'll get into that. So let me finish on with these notes. But the Rams' defensive line brought relentless pressure from start to finish. From the beginning of the game to the end, they dominated all game. So offensive efficiency. The Rams, they played well on all phases of the game. Offense, special teams, and defense. Matthew Stafford was very efficient tonight. So while the Rams defense stole the spotlight, quarterback Matthew Stafford quietly put on a clinic in efficiency. He completed 11 of 12 passes for 124 yards and a touchdown in the first half. Stafford kept the offense humming. Running back Hybrid Williams, really great running back, opened the scoring with a powerful touchdown on the opening drive, and the Rams had already built a commanding 24-3 lead by halftime. So the Vikings struggles. Darnold on a duress. Sam Darnold's playoff debut was a rough one. He completed 13 of 16 passes for 113 yards, but was sacked 9 times and committed 2 turnovers in the first half alone. So while Darnold, he had a very solid regular season, the Rams' defensive game plan completely neutralized him, leaving the Vikings offense searching for answers they never found. So special teams and field position. The Rams special teams chipped in with 2 field goals from Joshua Carty, including a 44-yarder in the third quarter that extended the lead to 27-3. And meanwhile, the Vikings managed just 1 field goal in the first half and a lone touchdown in the third quarter, failing to mount any serious comeback attempt. They did go for a 2-point conversion, and they failed on that. I thought the play calling was, along with the 2-point conversion, was terrible. I mean, if you're going to go with a 2-point conversion, I don't understand why have your receiver not run routes inside the end zone. Why would you have him run routes outside of the end zone, short yardage, for him to try to make it up? And that's exactly what they did with Justin Jefferson. Justin Jefferson tried to run it in. He caught the ball, tried to run it in, and he was tackled. Shortage of the touchdown, of the 2-point conversion. I don't get that. I mean, if you're going to go for it, if you're going to go for a 2-point conversion, I mean, slants, out routes, I don't know, hitches, drags, any kind of routes that would go into the freaking red zone. Like, it's already hard enough to freaking convert on a 2-point conversion. So I just thought the play calling was terrible for the Vikings all night. But so let's see here. So there's a reality check on my prediction. I expected the Vikings to showcase resilience and offensive creativity, but the Rams completely flipped the script. Instead of a back-and-forth shootout, the game was a one-sided defensive clinic by Los Angeles. My prediction of a 29-28 Vikings win couldn't have been further from reality, as the final score came into 27-9 in favor of the Rams. So what I missed was just how dominant the Rams' defensive front would be, combined with their offensive efficiency and mistake-free football. So it's a humbling reminder of how unpredictable the playoffs and football can be in general. So, yeah. So it'll just make me better for my analysis afterwards, later on. I mean, like I said, I don't mind being wrong. So, Rams versus the Eagles, that's the next. I think that's who the Rams going to play against next. So they're going to go into Philly, and that's going to be a huge showdown. You know, that's going to be a game that can go either way. Both teams are going to be evenly matched. I mean, Eagles, they both have star elite duo wide receivers. The Eagles, they don't really have a star elite quarterback, but Jalen Hurts, he has the ability to break off anytime. I mean, but Matthew Stafford, elite quarterback, I think that's the only thing that they are more than likely not evenly matched in, is the quarterback position. But everywhere else, they're pretty much evenly matched, you know. So, I mean, obviously the Eagles defense is better than the Rams defense, but the Rams defense is clicking hard. So it's not going to be easy for Jalen Hurts. I mean, the Rams, their pass rush is phenomenal. So the Rams' performance was a statement to the rest of the NFC. They're not just here to compete, they're here to dominate. As for my prediction, it's back to the drawing board. This is why we love football, because no matter how much we analyze, the game always has the last word. So for more in-depth analysis of my future, which will hopefully be more accurate predictions, don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe, and hit that notification bell. So let me let you know your thoughts in the comments, especially if your prediction was better than mine. But let's see here. Is there anything I want to talk about before I end? I think that the Vikings, like I said before, the Vikings, the play calling, I don't understand. The game was very close in the beginning of the game. And the Vikings, they just decided to just keep passing the ball, forcing the ball to Justin Jefferson. I told you guys that I was going to do a YouTube video. I was going to do a video right after the game if this was going to be the case. And I don't know. I mean, because I'm trying to think, like, why, if I can think of not throwing the ball every down, you know, and not forcing the ball to Justin Jefferson. I don't understand why the Vikings would do that in the playoffs. Like, everybody knows that you're going to try to force it to Justin Jefferson. You have Cam Akers and you have not Jordan Addison. You have Cam Akers and you have Aaron Jones in the backfield. Why would you continue to keep throwing the ball? The game was close. Again, it was close throughout the second half. I mean, throughout the first half, going to the third quarter. And you just kept throwing the ball. You could have kept it close by kept running the ball, and you decided not to do that. And then you just kept passing the ball, and then eventually the Rams was going to score again, and they was going to widen the gap on the score, and then you was going to have no other choice but to pass the ball. So when you wanted to run the ball, it was too late now. Now you have to pass to try to catch up. And that's what I'm saying. Like the Viking, like the play calling has a lot to do with how a game is going to end up. The Vikings, their play calling for the past couple of weeks has been terrible. When you get deep into the playoffs, you're not going to win any games with just throwing the damn ball through the air. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. I mean, that's what I don't get why the Vikings didn't see that. And then right after Cam Akers, I think he broke like a 40-yard rush, and right after that 40-yard rush, they passed the ball. They passed the ball again, and then they just kept passing it. And then I think Sam Darnold ended up throwing an interception a couple of plays afterwards. I think, but it shows that teams are so obsessed with trying to win by style points. They're so obsessed with just passing the ball. Why? especially if it's not going to work. Don't do it. You look ridiculous. And well, and that's why the Vikings lost, and they shouldn't lose. You saw what the Rams did. The Rams was very well balanced throughout the game. They weren't just depending on the pass. They have Matthew Stafford as a freaking gunslinger, and they have two elite wide receivers. But the Rams did not just kept just passing the ball. They were running it with Kyren Williams down the Vikings' throat as well. Pretty much every single time when Kyren Williams got the ball, he was fighting for hard yardage every single time. And the Rams, they mix it up, pass it into Puka, pass it into Cooper. They mix it up every now and then boom, Kyren Williams. They ran it right through the middle with Kyren Williams, and then they got him on a few quarterback tosses towards the end of the game. Not quarterback tosses, running back tosses, and then towards the end of the game. And the game was too far. Like the game was too far away from the Vikings to score to catch up. And then it was like really like ridiculous when it was like 7 minutes left on the clock. The Vikings started trying to run the ball now. They was passing it, converting on some passes, and then they was trying to mix it up by running. It was like, it's too late now. It's too late to try to balance your offense out now. You have to keep throwing. The play calling is just terrible, man. I don't know. That's all I got, man. I mean, I was wrong. I said that I said my predictions was 29, going to be 29-28. I mean, and then it ended up being 27-29. I wasn't too far off with the Rams, but I was off with the Rams scoring. But the Vikings, they couldn't catch up. They couldn't. Their offense couldn't live up to my expectations. And hey, back to the drawing board next year. So it's going to be a lot of question marks if the Vikings is going to keep Sam Darnold. I don't think they are, to be honest with you. I think these last two losses is going to fall on him. And I don't think they're going to blame themselves. I think they're going to blame Sam Darnold, which Sam Darnold does deserve some criticism. It's not like he played well these past couple of games, but the play calling did not help him out. The play calling didn't help him out. I mean, if you see your quarterback struggling, you see your quarterback getting sacked, getting hit, you have to change it up. You have to adjust. You have run the damn ball. That was my thing with Justin Herbert. Like when they played against the Texans, if you're going against a heavy pass rush, you defend that pass rush by running the ball right at them. That's the best way to go against a pass rush. That's the best way to help your quarterback out and to get your quarterback in rhythm. You run you run the ball heavy, get 1, 2 yards here and there. Even if you're getting stopped, it doesn't matter. It's better for that to happen than your quarterback to keep getting hit, getting knocked off his rhythm. You know what I'm saying? And then you run, you keep running, and then you get a little couple passing yards. You get a little check downs. You know what I'm saying? Here and there. You get your quarterback into the rhythm, start having him complete passes to get him into the rhythm for him to be hot. You know what I'm saying? And then if you see the pass rush coming again, you see that your quarterback can't get the ball down the field, you run at him at that again. Running back draws or, tosses, stuff like that. Mix it up. I don't understand. It's not that hard. Football is not that hard. And I think, a lot of these coaches, a lot of these offensive coordinators, they try to make it more complicated than what it should already be. There is nothing more simple in football than just running the damn ball. Running the ball is one of the most simple things in all of football. Really, to be honest with you, if you want to be a coach, learning the running game it should be the first thing that you should learn. It is the most fundamental thing of all of football, the running game. And I just don't understand why these coaches try to make it more complicated than what it already is. Especially if your quarterback is struggling. I just don't get it. And especially if you're going to pick up Aaron Jones in the offseason. For what? What was the point of picking up Aaron Jones? I don't get it. He's a really good running back. He could run back. They could run between the tackles. He's a very versatile running back. I mean, if you want to pass the ball so much, do check downs with Aaron Jones. Come on. I don't know, man. These coaches, they're questionable. A lot of them are. Kevin O'Connell is a great coach. He's a phenomenal coach. I like Kevin O'Connell. I'm just saying that I think they can become too bullish in their ways sometimes. But yeah, Vikings is out. I mean, I was been wrong about these three teams. I said it was going to be the Chargers and the Bears. But wrong about that. I think that's what's going to be the Chargers and the Vikings. Wrong about that. So now I got to see who can go after the Vikings. I said For the AFC, I went on and just chose the Chiefs, and even though I wouldn't be surprised if the Baltimore Ravens takes it, but I just don't see the Ravens beating the Chiefs because I do see it is very possible the Ravens could take it because of Derrick Henry. Derrick Henry is the type of running back that you can win a Super Bowl with. You know, like I said, you're like the teams that's going to be able to run the ball are going to the teams that's going to go deep in the playoffs. And I said this very early in the season. I said it that I said it like the second game of the second week of the season. I said that because when Lamar Jackson was kind of struggling, the Ravens was kind of struggling. I mentioned it. I said you got Derrick Henry. You are going to start winning games if you learn how to start running with Derrick Henry. And I was like, I get it that you want to preserve Derrick Henry for later on in the season. Yes, but still run with Derrick Henry. And I was saying like, what you're going to do with Derrick Henry is going to determine how deep you're going to go into the playoffs. Especially later on in the season. The teams that are the best teams that are running the ball the best and playing better defense, their defense picks up a little bit better. Those are going to be teams that's going to go deep. Those are going to be teams that's going to go really deep. I mean, the Ravens, they was playing pretty bad defense earlier this year, but they stepped up. They were struggling very hard. They were struggling, and they picked it up, and now they're rolling. So I wouldn't be surprised if they do beat the Chiefs, but I don't think they are. I don't think they're going to beat the Chiefs. So I think the Chiefs is going to go, and unfortunately, the Chiefs more than likely probably going to three-peat. And then we're going to hear a bunch of the media talking about Patrick Mahomes being better than Tom Brady, which I think is completely stupid. But that's going to be the talk, and yeah. So I guess I'll say there's going to be the Chiefs and the let me see. I'm trying to think. Will I pick the Rams or will I pick the Lions for NFC? I'll say it'll be the Chiefs and the Rams. Yeah, I'll go ahead and pick that. So I'll say, Chiefs and the Rams in the Super Bowl. And I will give it to the Rams to win the Super Bowl. I'll give it to the Rams to win it. I think the Rams can sneak up. So I'll give it to the Rams to go ahead and win it. I'll say the Rams could surprise the Chiefs by winning the Super Bowl. At first, I was going to pick the Chiefs, but that'll be my bold prediction. I'll go ahead and just go with the Rams. I should just ride with the Rams because I did choose the Rams like back in October to win their division. So I knew the Rams was that type of team to go ahead and just sneak into the playoffs. I knew that. So if you don't believe me, you can go back into my videos. I don't know which video it was, but in one of those videos, like around October or something like that, I went on and chose the Rams to win the division. So yeah, I just might as well just ride with the Rams. So yeah, so I'll say it'll be the Rams and the Chiefs in the Super Bowl, and the Rams win it. Matthew Stafford gets the second ring. So yeah, there we go. That's all I got, man. Thank you guys so much for watching. Like I said earlier, like, comment, share, subscribe, hit that notification bell, and let me know what your thoughts are on the game in the comments. And especially if your predictions was better than mine. What was your predictions? So, and who do you think is going to be who is your Super Bowl predictions? Like, who do you think is going to go to the Super Bowl this year? Do you think it's going to be? Do you agree it's going to be the Rams and the Chiefs, or Lions Chiefs, or Lions Bills? I think either way, I think any team that does go on either AFC and NFC, I believe it's going to be a great Super Bowl because a lot of those teams that are left in the playoffs are really good teams, and they're looking. It can be pretty exciting to watch any of these teams go. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll be back soon all day. So also, I wanted to mention what Matthew Stafford's stats and Sam Darnold's stats was. So Matthew Stafford, he completed 19 of 27 attempts. He had 209 passing yards and 2 touchdowns, 0 picks. I thought he threw an interception, but he had 0 picks. His completion percentage was approximately 70.4%. His quarterback rating was 125.5. That was Matthew Stafford. And Stafford was very efficient, instrumental, and so let's see here. Sam Darnold, he was very inefficient. He was 25 of 40. Too many attempts, man. Too many attempts. Matthew Stafford was 27. 40. Why are you passing the ball 40 times? And now let me tell you, all those passes, they didn't result when he was being down by double digits. They was passing a lot early in the game. For what? That just proves my point. Before I even finish Sam Darnold's stats, let me go back and tell you what Matthew Stafford's was. 19 of 27. 19 of 27. 2 TDs. Sam Darnold, 25 of 40. 1 touchdown, 1 interception, 245 passing yards. His completion percentage was 62.5%. Quarterback rating 76.3%. And like I said, he faced heavy pressure throughout the game. He was sacked 9 times, which was tied for NFL playoff record. So, yeah. And let me look up what the rushing attempts were for both teams. Let me see. Hold on. Give me 1 second. So the Rams, they had 34 rushing attempts in their wildcard victory against the Minnesota Vikings. So Kyren Williams, he had 21 carries for 88 yards and 1 touchdown. Cam Akers, he had 9 carries for 42 yards. And let's see what the Vikings were. So Aaron Jones, he had 13 carries for 48 yards. Cam Akers had 5 carries for 39 yards. That was on the Vikings. And for the Rams, Kyren Williams had 16 carries, 76 yards. And then Ronnie Rivers, 3 carries for 8 yards. So, I mean, they tried running more. They tried as much as more than what I've saw. But I think some of those carries, more of those carries from Aaron Jones came towards the end of the game when they were trying to mix it up. They were trying to balance it out when it was too late. Because towards the end of the game, like in the fourth quarter, they were trying to run more. And it was just too late. And it was like, so I think that's where most of those 13 carries came from. But, yeah, the Vikings, they lost. I really feel like they lost because they had terrible game plan and they had a terrible offensive play calling, and they were just trying to win these games through passing. And you're not going to win playoff games. You're not going to win late in the year by passing. You run to win, pass to score. So it's just not going to happen. But